Hi guys, and welcome to my kitchen. If you have been tuning in recently on the recipe share group, you will no doubt know that I'm sharing my revitalised eating plan. So essentially what I'm looking to do in January is to support my liver function and enhance my immunity in the colder months. So I've devised myself an eating plan that's going to feature ingredients that provide my body with the nutrients that are going to do those kind of things. So tonight I wanted to have a bit of fun and just show you what I'm going to be eating tonight, but actually cook it, just to show you exactly how easy it is. Now this recipe is actually taken from my new short course, which is nutritionally balanced meals made simple. In that course I feature a range of recipes. Some of them are kind of batch cooks that you make ahead, but some of them are meals that you can make in under 45 minutes on the night, and this is one of those. With a few little twists obviously to fit in with my eating plan. So here's one I made earlier. I've got some, basically I've got some chopped onion and some garlic just frying off gently here in a little bit of olive oil. So I just got that ready to go, so that's softening nicely. And essentially what we're going to do today is make what I call a one-pan vegetable paella. Now I'm actually going to add a little bit of chorizo to that this evening just to demonstrate how you can flavour it up a bit. But essentially this is a really simple one-pan dish that you can put any vegetables you like in, really. So it's a good way to use up what you've got left in the fridge. And it's really, really tasty too, and it features a few cheats because you know how I like to cheat a little bit. So essentially what I've got here is I've got just a small amount of chorizo. It doesn't have to be a lot because essentially all you're looking to do is add some flavour, some depth of flavour to the dish. I'm actually going to put that in here now. So if you are using chorizo, put it in at the point that you are frying off your onions and your garlic, because then it will kind of heat up a little bit, release some of those lovely oils and flavours. So whilst that's just kind of cooking away there, I've got some chopped red pepper. Again, you can use any peppers that you like. I happen to have some courgette in the fridge. You can use courgette, you could use green beans, you could use a bit of cabbage if you wanted to, whatever you want to, whatever veg you like. I have got some frozen peas here. I've got a tin of tomatoes. These pulper tomatoes, I don't know if you've come across them before, are absolutely delicious. So if you do like to flavour things up a bit, it's worth spending a little bit more on these because they're really good quality. I have also got some button chestnut mushrooms here. Again, you can use any mushrooms that you like. But I've just been talking recently in the recipe share group. I'm featuring quite a lot of mushrooms in my diet this week. And the reason for that is because they are packed full of lots of bioactive compounds that really do support the immune system, and that has been shown in many clinical trials. So if you are interested in supporting your immunity, boosting it, you know, through these winter months, and mushrooms are a good addition to your diet. So that's that. And then of course the grains. So if you're familiar with cooking, if you know paella, there's actually quite a traditional method to doing it over in Spain. This is nothing like that. It's a cheat. So essentially, I've talked about these before as well. These are just those really good vacuum-packed, ready-cooked grains that you can buy in supermarkets. This particular brand is Merchant Gourmet, and it's their smoky Spanish style, which suits a paella perfectly. Or I've got, you know, just the Sainsbury's version. Sainsbury's do their own version. I'm sure any supermarkets, I've seen them in Aldi's, Lidl's, all over the place. Mediterranean style grains. Again, this is actually a mix of quinoa and barley and things like that. So they're all really good, and they all serve the same purpose, and they're just really handy staples to have in your cupboard. Because you know that addition of grains is going to give you some good dietary fibre, which is really, really good for your gut health. So that paprika has just been cooking off a little while. Now, the first things that you do are add in your veggies to soften them. So I'm going to add in my red peppers here. I'm going to add in my courgettes. And I'm just going to, you know, move those around a little bit and allow them to soften. Should be, you know, probably about 4 to 5 minutes softening away there. I'm also going to add in my mushrooms at this point too, because mushrooms will release a little bit of their juices. They'll soften up nicely, and that will get everything else kind of steaming nicely away in the pan. This already smells amazing just from the chorizo. If I'm just going to add those mushrooms. If you are veggie, I myself am normally pescatarian. If you're veggie, don't worry about not adding chorizo, because there is a magic ingredient that I'm going to talk to you about in a minute. So I've just got all of those veggies in there. So any veggies that you're going to add kind of at this stage after you've softened the onion down with the garlic, and they'll just kind of sweat off nicely in those flavours. So yeah, if you're veggie and you're not going to add the chorizo, an amazing ingredient that I absolutely love is sweet smoked paprika. If you've no doubt heard of this. This particular one is by a company called La Chinata. If you smell it, it's awesome. It just smells sweet and smoky, as it says, and it's a really, really good replacement for chorizo kind of tasting, that nice kind of rustic, smoky kind of flavour. So I'm going to add some of that as well to this, just to give it that extra kind of flavour. It's got a little bit of a kick to it as well. I use it in quite a lot of my recipes. So yeah, it's a really, really good go-to for paella dishes and things like that. So I'm just going to let this cook off for a minute. I'll probably, forward the video a little bit on to the next stage, so you can see me then getting to the point where I add the tomatoes. But yeah, probably about 4 to 5 minutes cooking these veggies. Right, it's great cooking on that. Back on your bed. On your bed. Okay, so these veggies have been cooking off probably now for about 45 minutes. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add a little bit of extra flavouring with a little bit of the smoked sweet paprika. So I'm going to add a good kind of teaspoon of that, maybe even a little bit more. It's not overly strong, so you can, afford to be a little bit generous with it. Get that really well mixed in, coat all your veggies in it so that they've got, a nice coating of it. If you are just doing veggie, no chorizo, maybe add a little bit more. It's absolutely fine. It's not too hot. Another thing you can add if you want to is a little bit of chili. If you do like a little bit of heat in your food, then a nice bit of chili powder is a good addition as well. Great, so now to add the tomatoes. Literally, it is this easy. because there's only 2 of us, I'm only going to add half of this tin. So I'm just going to turn that down a little bit. So if you've got 4 of you, add the whole tin, but if it's just 2 of us, because it's just 2 of us, I'm just going to add half of that tin of tomatoes. I'll probably use the rest in like a pasta sauce or something like that, pop it in the fridge. And then finally, last but not least, I'm going to add in the grains. Add those to the pan, get them moving around a bit, and really, you know, that is your meal done and dusted. Whoop. Just kind of thinking out loud, you could add, you know, if you wanted to add extra dietary fibre to it, you could add beans, chickpeas, all of those kind of lovely, healthful pulses, you know, beans, chickpeas and ingredients like that. Oh, this looks great. As you can see, I'm glad I did this now actually, because you can actually see how yummy it looks. And that is, you know, it is just so simple. I'm just looking at the time on the video, and that has taken 11 minutes. Admittedly, I started the onions off before I started the filming, but, you know, add another 3 minutes for that. And you have got a beautifully nutritious dish from kind of, you know, from packet to plate in 15 minutes flat. So a good bit of seasoning. And then I'm just going to turn that down, it's ready to go. If you want to add a bit more nutrition, as I like to with stuff, you know, give yourself a good side of greens with it on the side, or you could just have it with salad. And the great thing about this, because I'm kind of looking at it now and thinking you really bulk it up with veggies, and one of the great things about that is if you do, looking at this, I've probably more than 2 portions here. So I can just pop it into an airtight container, keep it in the fridge, and that will do me for a couple of lunches this week as well, probably. So there we go, that's that, that's awesome. I will pop some details of the recipe again in the link below, and I'll also pop a link to my new meal planning course, so Nutritionally Balanced Dinners Made Simple. This is one of those dishes. So you can take a look at that as well. All right, I hope you enjoy this. See you later. Bye.